everybody, and welcome to my channel. If you don't know, my name is Danny, and today's video is going to be my 36-week and 6-day update. Wow, I am getting so close to my due date, and I'm getting so excited and anxious, probably more so anxious to just see what Griffin is going to look like and to just have him in the world. This week has been different. This whole pregnancy, I've not had any pains. I've not had a hard pregnancy, knock on wood. I was sick the first trimester, and then the second trimester, and then most of the third. I've just been coasting along and not really having a whole lot of things to complain about, honestly. The last week, maybe 2 weeks, I have noticed a lot of changes in my body, a lot of symptoms that I just all of a sudden started getting that I wasn't having before, because I've really started to try to pay attention since I am getting so close to my due date. Things that I've started noticing for me being 36 weeks, sleep is just not been good. I toss and I turn, and every time that I have to switch positions, I have to fully wake up and turn my body over because my stomach is just, it's getting so big and it feels heavy at night. I don't know why, it just feels so heavy when I'm turning over. I have to physically wake up and pick myself up to turn over. I have a lot of sciatic nerve pain also. I had it a little bit in the beginning, and then it died down, and then the last 2 weeks it's picked up, and it will start on one side, and then I'll lay and sleep for probably an hour or two, and it kicks up, so I'll have to rotate, and then of course an hour or two later I'm rotating again because it switched to this side. So sleep has not been good lately. I just feel like I can't get comfortable, but I heard that's pretty normal for the end of pregnancy. Like your belly is getting so big, it just gets extremely uncomfortable at night. The next thing I've noticed is that I wake up sweating, just so hot. I'll put the air down, and then we keep our door closed so that the heat does not come into our room, because we live in a 2-story house, so it gets hot upstairs very, very easily. So I will cut the heat down, and then I sleep with only a sheet, and sometimes I just wake up and I am sweating and I cannot get far enough away from the dogs and my husband, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to go sleep in another bed because I am dying of heat. It's awful. And I'm not usually a hot person. I'm usually freezing, and I annoy my husband because I will crawl up next to him because he has so much body heat, but I almost can't stand for him to touch me right now at night because I get so hot. The next thing that I've noticed is that I wake up super early the last week and a half. I think last week I was up anywhere between 5 and 6:30. Just no reason at all, can't sleep, tossing and turning, and I just feel like I need to get up. I'm usually a morning person, but I've been trying to enjoy my sleep these last few weeks. The next thing is lightning crotch. It sounds funny. It is not funny. I don't get it really bad. It just happens mainly when I'm walking, and then it'll catch me off guard, and I'll have to stop right in my tracks, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then I can keep going about what I'm doing. It doesn't hurt. It just, like I said, it catches you off guard. The next thing that I have is pelvic pressure. I started noticing it a lot at night. I would wake up and it would just feel so much pressure, almost like the baby was just about to fall out. That's what it felt like. And I asked the doctor about it on Saturday in my OB appointment, and it turns out those that pressure is actually Braxton Hicks. And I didn't know that that's what it was, because when I looked up what Braxton Hicks were, it didn't really feel like a cramp to me, because I've never experienced period cramps. Mine was always pressure. And so that's really all I could compare it to. And the doctor said to make sure that I'm starting to feel, if I feel my stomach when I feel that pressure, and it gets really hard, that is actually a Braxton Hicks. So that is what I've been having all week. Yesterday was really bad. I had them all day, every other hour, like just my stomach would get so hard, and they would last for sometimes the whole hour, and then I would get a 30-minute break and then they come right back. They don't hurt. They feel more like a pressure, like when you're about to start your period. For me, I always got this really, really heavy pressure. They don't hurt. They're just more so, you notice them and they're kind of uncomfortable. The next thing that I've noticed this whole week, I'm guessing I am nesting is what people call it. I have wanted to organize every single thing, clean everything, just make sure the house is nice and put together, so whenever I do go into labor, I don't have to come home to chaos. I've been keeping the laundry done, everything like this, this area right here was actually in my closet. I got up this morning, it is only 10:30 and I have already organized all of this. I've cleaned the bathroom, I've done a load of laundry, I've cooked breakfast. I am on everything. My mind is like a ping pong ball and it's going bing, 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 bing. I cannot focus on one thing. I am running a million miles a minute trying to clean and organize. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my OB appointment that I had on Saturday. Now I went in and I was 36 weeks and 3 days pregnant on that exact day. I went in for my last ultrasound. Griffin was not letting us see him. He would cover his face like this so we could only see right here. He did show us his butt and he was sucking on his toes. Now, I was a little bummed out that we didn't get to see a little bit more of his features, but it's okay because he will be here soon enough. But the OB did check my cervix and it was so uncomfortable, you guys. Like, I've not had anything done that has hurt, and this actually hurt me. A lot of people say that it's just uncomfortable, but I can actually say that when she checked my cervix, I about jumped off the table, like trying to back up to get away from her fingers, because what they do is they stick their finger in and they feel the cervix. And when she did that, I literally was trying to crawl off the table. It was so uncomfortable for me and it just hurt. So when she checked, I was not dilated. My cervix was still closed, but Griffin is head down and he is very low. And that's really all that I was looking for in that appointment, was for him to be head down. I didn't want him to come early, so I didn't want my cervix to be dilating at 36 weeks. And she said it was extremely normal for you not to be dilated, especially for first-time moms. A lot of the time you go over your due date, which fingers crossed that does not happen, but I definitely did not want him to come early. So that was good. The appointment went really good. She said my weight was good and amniotic fluid was really good. So that whole appointment went really well. I go back on Thursday when I'll be 37 weeks and 2 days, I think. 2 or 3 days, I'm not sure. I can't keep up with the days, but I know that I will be 37 weeks. So we will find out then if I'm starting to dilate at all. Now that I am about to be 37 weeks, I would like to start seeing some progression with at least my body or my cervix effacing, I think is what it's called. It's where your cervix starts thinning out. So I am hoping to see that. And if I am starting to dilate, that'd be fine too, because at this point he is basically full term. So I would be okay with that as well. I do hope that he comes a little bit closer to his due date, only because since my husband is in the military, he has his advancement exam on March 5th or 4th. It's somewhere that first week of March. So I really would like him to stay put until he can take that test, because I know my husband would be stressing out if he had to take that test and I go into labor then, or if I go into labor the day before or the day after. He would just be stressing. So I am hoping that he just waits until after that test. But of course, you know, with babies, they are gonna come when they want to come. So we will just see. As far as things that I'm doing this week, I started drinking raspberry leaf tea when I was 35 weeks pregnant. I started with 1 cup a day, and then when I got to 36 weeks, I moved up to 2 cups a day. And they say that this is good to help strengthen your uterus and soften your cervix and just make the process of labor easier. I'm not sure how true that is. I'm not doing it to induce labor. It does not induce labor. It is solely to help soften your cervix and make labor easier. I'm gonna say that again. It is not to induce labor. My doctor told me that it is fine. If you do decide to try to take raspberry leaf tea, make sure that you check with your doctor first. Another thing that I've been doing, if you can see now, I am sitting on my ball. I bounce and do a couple different things on this. Whenever I'm at the computer, if I'm sitting downstairs watching TV or sitting at the table eating, I will take this ball and I sit on it. I bounce. I do a lot of stretches with it, and then like I said on the last video, I'm still working out 3 to 4 days a week. So all of that is supposed to help ease your body into labor. So I'm hoping that my labor is not super long, since I am, since this is my first baby. I'm trying to just do everything that I can to make it easier on myself. My husband and I have been really taking in the time to just enjoy each other's company, watching TV, being kind of lazy at night, because it's good for you to do, because I feel like the first month or two after baby comes, things are just almost like a haze. You're not going to even remember the first few days because you're going to be so tired, and I think that's how it's going to be. So we will see, and I will be back next week to update you guys on 37 weeks and let you know if anything has changed. I do hope that you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, just leave them down below in the comment box. And I appreciate you watching, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day.